Oh, hello, one and one. We are here to discuss. This is Nicole, Coco Patrice, and welcome to Children's Moss Venus. And you have a Chicago heart girl, and we're still dealing with our mayor, Brandon Johnson. Trump said he's not sending the National Guard here. I'm sure due to some of the legal, you know, pitfalls that would be involved. And he was trying to incite, both the governor and the mayor to just go ahead and ask me for the help. I'll send them in, but they didn't fall for it. But I mean, they have fallen into their own traps though, because they are much um giving backed into a corner, giving, oh my God, what is happening? Because there was a clip of JB Pritzker not too long ago, as well as some more recent clips. I mean, our mayor gives us material all day, every day. Like it just, we don't run out with him. But Pritzker definitely was a little on the edge about a few things. So let's just pull that up real quick.
Well, let me be clear that if I pick up the phone and call Donald Trump, that will become part of a case in court that I somehow was calling him for help. And therefore, it will become predicate to him sending military troops into the state of Illinois. If I called him, I would say exactly what I have said to all of you. By the way, he hasn't called me either.
Doesn't he look very desperate, very frantic, very afraid, looking? Right? Am I right? Am I right?
And he doesn't seem to want to talk directly to me. He just wants to.
Why would he want to talk directly to you? You've been campaigning since before he was elected for your presidential bid. You've made it very clear that you're willing to incite violence and just blatantly lie and call him a fascist, a Nazi, a dictator, an authoritarian, all these other things. I wouldn't want to talk to you, Jelly Belly.
Talk to television cameras and berate the people of Chicago and berate the people of Illinois and attack the city of Chicago. And I reject that entirely. And it doesn't deserve any response except the one that I have given, which is this is no joke. Donald Trump is doing something that's not normal. And we should.
Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Anybody? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Can I get an amen? You in the back?
Not accept it in this country. It's un-American. It's anti-American what Donald Trump is doing. Well, let me be clear that.
Bro, you are scared. So that was September posted that so almost 10 days ago. About 10 days ago. And also what I saw on September 9th was this. You know, he was going around, he was on several, platforms saying, showing him walking along the riverfront, walking along the lakefront, saying that everything's fine, there's no crime. It's 6 a.m. I'm surrounded by my personal bodyguards. Everything's great here. Okay, never mind the 8-10 people killed over the last couple of weeks, 15, who knows, who's counting, who cares, they're not my people. They're my people if you come, they're my people, but they're not my people. When they die, they're not my people. When they move out of state, they're not my people. When they pay taxes, they're not my people. And so yeah, this was very interesting, especially me having research experience in criminology.
Corrections has lost.
What in this
WTO Investigates has learned the Illinois Department of Corrections has lost the ability to say how often inmates who are released commit new crimes. I came across the issue while looking at programs meant to prepare prisoners for life outside of prison walls. It means the Department of Corrections can no longer say with certainty if it is correcting behavior. The blind spot comes as IDOC has refused an offer of help from a suburban sheriff who says he can be more effective at making sure fewer convicts reoffend.
Refuse the help. Let's go find this station report, shall we? Just one moment. How are you refusing to help? How are you not tracking? How do you have a blind spot of recidivism? So it's bad enough that you're a sanctuary city or state and you're releasing people based on them having detainers for federal immigration, wherein they've already committed the crime of crossing the border illegally, and then they've also committed further crimes. They were in your custody. Instead of releasing them as you should be doing because you want to cooperate with other federal law enforcement, but your policies are telling you not to because of some moral high ground that you claim to be on. But instead, you're letting people be re-victimized because you're releasing a criminal back onto the streets knowing they should be deported. And then you're crying about Trump's not cooperating with us. Why the fuck would I? And then now you have a recidivism blind spot. So on top of not collecting the data for immigration and immigration status, you're also not collecting the data once the people are in corrections of whether or not they reoffend. So what is the point of corrections? You're losing the whole reason for being called a correctional facility. So yeah, let's see if we can find this study real quick. I don't want to harp on this too long because we still got to get to Brandon.
WGN Investigates has learned the Illinois Department of Corrections has lost the ability to spare prisoners with certainty if accused an offer of help to ensure fewer convicts reoffend.
I'm gonna make a rotini sauce.
Okay.
Italian rotini sauce.
Okay. How many people?
Look no further than this jail kitchen for signs of rehabilitation.
He's gonna be next in my chef class.
I wish.
The executive chef with an easy smile had worked in restaurants on the Mag Mile before drug charges sent him to jail.
I got caught. I don't know if it was the right time, but I got caught with the right people, with the right sheriff, with the right state attorney, and with the right program, the Lighthouse. If they don't got those programs here, I will be an IDOC for at least 4 or 5 more years.
People are worried about violent criminal offenders, about people who have drug charges, drug backgrounds coming back to their community. The point is they are coming back to the community. What can we do to help them?
2 steps back.
7 years ago, Nate Lanthram partnered with Kane County Sheriff Ron Hain for an immersive drug and alcohol treatment program, plus housing help, job skills, and connections upon release. They say it dramatically lowered the recidivism rate. In 2022, the Illinois Department of Corrections said 37% of its inmates reoffended within 3 years of their release. But WGN Investigates found the department hasn't updated that number since then due to a computer glitch. Essentially,
due to a computer glitch, we have no idea whether or not we're still at or below or above 37% recidivism rate. Almost 40% of people who have been incarcerated are coming back to your community and recommitting the same crimes, if not worse, given that our current mayor and our current governor don't give a rat's butt about the crime rate in your community.
The state doesn't have a current snapshot of how its reentry programs are working.
Your public safety in every county across the entire state and across the entire country starts right here in the jail. So what we do or don't do to improve people's lives will directly affect whether they recidivize, create more crime, and come right back in.
What we provide here is therapy, opportunity, and then when they go to IDOC, sometimes that gets unraveled. And we would like for them to come back here so we could set them up again.
In 2023, a law was passed to provide that option. It said if the local sheriff was willing, state prisoners could be transferred back to county jail for the final few months of their sentence to receive localized and specialized reentry services, essentially to give them a better chance of straightening out their lives.
Not a single person has been able to take advantage of this law.
That's despite it passing the Illinois General Assembly unanimously, not a single no vote.
So what does the Illinois Department of Corrections tell you about why they're not doing this? They don't have to.
What do you mean?
The law states they may but not shall.
What's your sense of why the Illinois Department of Corrections hasn't done this with more people?
They might be afraid that the success that Kane would have would illustrate that they need to have a reentry program themselves.
We're not charging DOC to do this. We are taking on that investment in the person. They're actually going to save money They're actually going to keep people from recidivizing. And it's just a smart investment across the board.
Oh, sí, perfecto, perfecto.
Chef P acknowledges his success story might be rare, but it's why years after his time was served, he returns to the jail each day to work.
Be honest, I always want to come back to jail. I want to come back to help those guys and share my story to them and show them that everything is possible. Okay, you got the prep cheese ready?
The Illinois Department of Corrections says it provides a host of education, job, and other programs to prepare inmates to return to society. The state also helps eligible inmates enroll in food benefit programs and Medicaid prior to release. As for that computer glitch that has prevented IDOC from knowing how many inmates are returned to prison for new crimes, a spokesperson calls it a programming error they're working to resolve. But again, that key data point to measure success, it's been unavailable for 2 years. So how do you say, oh, our reentry programs are working?
Right. But it's interesting that it said it would save them money if they got everyone got programs like this.
The point is, is to not have people commit new crimes, because there's a big cost to society to put them through the justice system and put them back in prison.
For sure.
Yep.
Thank you, Ben.
Begin this
Very interesting. You have the resources. You have the funds. You could fix the problem. You could report the taking 2 years for a computer glitch. First of all, is crazy, and then not taking advantage of a program that's no cost to you is also, and it just blows my mind. But it's the Illinois way. Why are you shocked? It's the Illinois way. All right. And Pritzker, he was walking along the lakefront with Marianne Ahern. He was telling her how safe everything is in his neck of the woods. Okay, everything's great. Everything's awesome. And then, of course, the crime is down. Crime is down. Let's see what happened with him and William.
Are you projecting there are more ICE agents that are? Say that again. I'm sorry.
You're going to be disruptive. Challenging the president in court is going to take a while. Are you projecting
there are more ICE agents that are on the way? And again, many of the people who are coming seem to be coming from Los Angeles and having been part of that raid. So if you want to look at what it is that they're planning to do, you can just look at what they did in Los Angeles.
If these federal agents decide to work against what our local authority is, we'll use every single tool that is available to us. If you look at the ruling that just took place in Los Angeles, it actually cites what my executive order had already exposed.
There are thousands of
He just has to have some credit there. You see Tony Preckwinkle just happy to be there. Okay. And Brandon, of course, thinks he's the standard for mayorship.
People, indeed, millions of people that showed up for No King's Day. And I'm encouraging people to peacefully, I've said that all along, megaphones, microphones, go to the ballot box. Those are all the things that I said. Let's be clear. And to the extent that people want to protest, they have that First Amendment right to do so. All I'm saying, as I said back then, is that you ought to do it peacefully and that you ought to make your voices heard.
Governor Pritzker, a very important question regarding the illegal alien, Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, that was released under your... Thank you, guys. God bless you guys. Keep up the great work. God bless you. Please stay. No, it's not an elevator. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought it was an elevator. That's my bad. Or I thought it was an elevator.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Yeah, I totally agree. You couldn't be more right. I actually like her. She's actually doing a good job.
Do you really want to do the show?
Of course I want to do your show.
Do you want to give me your number?
I love William J. Coley. Like, Because right, what do y'all like? How do y'all get to ignore me and act like I can't get on this elevator? It's crazy. So Luis, I think he said Mendoza. I'm not sure who exactly that was. I guess we can look that up real quick. Hold on. Okay, so of course I forgot about this. Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez is the one who allegedly decapitated a woman and hid her body. Lake County activist Judge Randy Bruno let him go free after he was arrested for the crime. I believe this happened back in like March or something like that. So it looks like 18 hours ago. Oh, this is a different one. Is it a different guy or? Me parece como es igual, ¿no? Es el mismo. Es from convicted of battery and assault. Okay, never mind. So ICE has been, reporting the guys that they're catching here. But it says ICE tracked down and arrested illegal alien from Mexico who decapitated Illinois woman, and liberal activist judge let him go after his first appearance. This is who JB Pritzker is harboring.
ICE has detained the man charged in connection with the death of a missing Antioch woman. The Department of Homeland Security says agents arrested Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez yesterday afternoon at a market in Chicago, and he remains in ICE custody. They say he is an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. Now, you remember back in April, Mendoza Gonzalez was charged with concealing a corpse, abusing a corpse, and obstruction of justice in the death of Megan Boss. Police in Waukegan found Boss's body in a container in Mendoza Gonzalez's yard. She'd initially been reported missing back in March. ICE has detained the man.
Pero todo bien, ¿por qué tenemos que asustar la gente? No tiene que asustar nadie. Ignórale el problema, no hay problema. Él puede estar libre para ir a la tienda, vivir su vida. Y no pasa la mente, no piensa mucho en preocuparse en la cuerpos allí, en su casa o nada, en algunas cantidades. ¿Por qué? Right? Es una ciudad de todo. Esos todos son todos mi gente. Es todo mi gente. Todo bien. And so Brandon Johnson, okay, he is clearly losing his mind. All right. I don't understand why he made this post in Spanish the other day. That had me rolling. So that's why I had to give you guys un sorbito de mi español, porque él está dándole. Okay. Tenemos a un alcalde bilingüe, okay, que proteja a la gente. Where'd it go? Mayor Panic here. Hold on. We gotta find it. I'm sorry. Because it was just, there's so much. I'm sorry. Brandon Johnson. Where'd it go? Because I know, good. Look at this. Who posted this shit? Ooh. That's y'all mayor, y'all. I don't understand the point of this. Anyway, not my problem. All right, I can't find the one. There's so much stuff I bookmarked because this man is he's just funny. Oh, he did the Taste of Chicago. He had the lights here. I guess there's no sound there. I don't know. Whatever. No quiere el video, but eso está bien. I think it's just a picture. That's why I'm clicking it. It's just a picture. He signed his executive order to limit Chicago authorities from working with ICE, federal law enforcement, to try to stop Trump and the National Guard. Okay. I mean, he keeps signing these executive orders on top of all the sanctuary city stuff, on top of spending all our tax dollars on these people, on top of all the NGOs and all the money that he spent on trying to give these people legal protections and blocking federal law enforcement to protect people like the whole Jose Luis Mendoza Gonzalez, so he can keep his bodies in his backyard in peace. That's all. Because he deserves the right to do that. Okay. So, I can't find it. He went in a whole little diatribe about the elite. Let's just look at this because I don't know. I thought I had it on my bookmarks. Here we go. Sorry, guys. There's so much. Just so much. The crowd booing. Here we go. There's like 2 boos. The rest of these idiots, I guess, love it. Using my tax dollars to put his name in drones is crazy.
Detail from 150 sworn police officers and put those police officers back on the street where they can protect real Chicagoans?
So we're very proud of the work that we're doing collectively to ensure that our police officers have the resources that they need. As I've said repeatedly, it's policing and affordable housing, it's policing and youth employment, it's policing and mental and behavioral health care services. It's going to take all of us, the business community, the philanthropic community. We're working collectively with Cook County government, the state of Illinois, the state's attorney as well. The volume of cases that we are pushing towards the state's attorney so that we can continue to close out these cases as we really drill down with our detectives division as they solve crime, as they get the evidence over to the state's attorney, gives her the ability to make the prosecution so that we can continue to deter crime in the city of Chicago. That's the holistic approach that we're taking. Thank you.
So we can continue to do dirt to Lil Durk. I mean, ¿qué estamos haciendo? Okay. He got his 150 officer police detail, pero no podemos hablar de eso porque crime is down. So, and then Stephen A. Smith has something to say about him
in the streets of Chicago. And I want to hear a damn word from Mayor Johnson. Talking about things are being overblown and bringing up talks about racism and talking about how people wouldn't be on top of this to this degree if there was a white mayor. Well, Rahm Emanuel was there once upon a time. The heat was still being brought. People called out President Obama when he was in office because he was a junior senator from the state of Illinois living in Chicago. This ain't the first time, it ain't gonna be the last time people calling out stuff that's going on in Chicago. So certainly when you see black folks calling for the National Guard to intervene or for martial law to be invoked because they want to feel safe in the streets of Chicago, you know it's a problem. You know it's a problem. And something has to be done with it, and I get it. I understand. There's no question.
But ¿quién va a escuchar a los negros? Who's going to listen to black people? Why would we do that? Why are we going to do that? Don't know. Because, you know, our people are saying everything's fine, or someone is telling us to say that, but then stuff like this. Can't even go get a burger on 87th Street. Michelle Harris. Why she pull him over the counter like that? What is going on? Or pulling a pistol. Okay, just regular stuff happening at a burger joint. And so our mayor, he's okay. Everything todo bien, todo bien.
The fact of the matter is, no one has asked me to send federal troops into this city to make it safe. It has never come up. It never came up during the campaign. It's never come up in the first 2 years. The fact of the matter is, we are driving violence down on this city, and we're using every single resource that's available to us. Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities. I'm going to work hard every single day to protect the people who are caught up in violence in this city. Guess why? You want to know why? Because the vast majority of them look like me. He doesn't talk to black mayors about what it's like to live in communities that have been disinvested in. So no, we're not going to succumb to the sickness and the evil that Dr. King warned us about a generation ago. This is a group project, but we're not going to allow the president of the United States of America or any of his ilk look at the work that we're doing across this country, and then now we're experiencing some level of reprieve, and now he wants to put his name on our paper. The fact is,
he can't say a single thing without making a damn 5th grade social studies reference. Okay, he said they're gonna put their name on our paper. He is understanding all of public policy through the lens of a 5th grade social studies teacher. This should tell you enough. And the fact that he identifies himself, because it would be racist if you guys think Charlie Kirk should be applauded, and should his death applauded, because if he would have said, or according to y'all, he said stuff like this, that people who are caught up in violence look like him. Okay, so the black criminals, if he's referring to them, or the black victims of the criminality, which 88% of the time is black on black. Okay, he looks like them. But then if Charlie Kirk said it, it'd be a problem, right? But this guy is not racist because he's black. And then he doesn't want to send you the help to solve the problem because nobody asked, even though people are asking him to, but they didn't ask him on the campaign trail. And then the president's not begging him, or someone not the president. I'm trying to follow it, guys.
the matter is, no one has asked me to send federal troops into this city to make it safe. It has never.
No one has asked him. So meanwhile, also, it's a sickness. Sickness to have law enforcement
offer in lieu of sending in the National Guard, the 101st Airborne, or what have you, to make Chicagoans feel safe in their communities in real time.
I think I understand your question. Okay, let me just start with this. How about this? In 1974, there were
1974 is not in real time, sir. You already failed the fucking dude. No one's putting their name on your paper because, nigga, you ain't even answering the goddamn question. In 1974 is not in real time. And then you're going to bring up 970 murders. We have never exceeded or matched that total. That was an outlier. You cannot quote the outlier as your standard data point.
70 murders. 1995, there were 828 murders. 2021, 805 murders. This has been a problem in this city for a very long time. So when you talk about what we're offering a better pathway so that we don't have 970 people murdered in our city every single year. Now, one is one too many.
But you're not going to convince me that the people of Chicago only deserve law enforcement. I get so sick and tired of people believing that the only thing that black and brown and poor people get to get in this city are badges. People want jobs. It's why we've increased the ability for young people to have jobs.
So we can't have peace though. We're supposed to get, I'm sorry, what are you offering us again? Investments in people, but I don't get the money. Somebody get the money, probably a former gang member in a CVI nonprofit, criminal violence interrupter nonprofit with a yellow vest on, who probably took a picture with JB Pritzker at one point in time and is now wanted for murder.
Jobs in this city. People want healthcare and behavioral mental health care. That's what they asked me. That's why we've expanded it. People want to be able to afford to live in this city. That's why I'm building more affordable units. People want justice if they do get wrapped up into this spiral of despair in this city. I get so sick and tired of people in this country and in this city that believes that the only thing that you can offer black people and poor people is jails, incarcerations, and police officers.
Pero meanwhile, you have the police detail. Okay, what the hell is wrong with this man? Like, it's a sickness to be eradicated, right? It's a sickness to be eradicated. Because so this guy, you know, he's crazy. We know it. He's probably having another panic attack right now. And then hold on. There was a clip that I forgot to show you guys. Yes. This here. This right here. Es que dice exclusive, days before crash and grab crew killed a man on the Magnificent Mile. One of the men charged with murder posed with Governor JB Pritzker at a PeaceKeeper event. An official said he did it while he was wanted by authorities in 4 states. These are the investments that your governor and your mayor are making into peacekeeping. They're giving money to people who are literally either former criminals or still committing crimes, out on warrants, apparently, etc. Let's see if I can find the original post, because there was a picture. This place is crazy, you know? Romanian men who use skimmers and hidden cameras to steal $177,000 from Chicago ATMs has been sentenced to nearly 7 years in federal prison. One of the ATMs he targeted was in the Gold Coast. But crime is down, guys. Crime is down. Hold on. Sorry, there's just so much. There's just so much crime to comb through. I just saw it today. It's been drowned out by several other posts here. Hold on. See this? This is your little taste of crime in Chicago. Okay. The crime that's down. It's not that bad. This was a good one. A suspected Venezuelan gang member executed another migrant, then bragged that the victim's body had been entombed in concrete at a construction site. And I believe that the victim was featured in one of these like feel-good pieces on one of these news networks about how he was a barber and he came from Venezuela and he had all these opportunities and everything was going great. And now he's somewhere in some concrete thanks to the other Venezolano in like MS-13 or Trinidad Aragua, right? But, you know, todo bien, there's crime is down. The crime is down. I just sworn these guys posted it. I don't know. Hang on. Tanto crimen. Okay. Dame un segundo. So, this is just, you know, just your little walk through our safe city here. It's okay. Every city has crime. Every city has crime. Every major city has crime. And yes, we have more than you know, we have more than others, but I mean, we're a big city. We have the Sears Tower. Jordan was here. It was 970 murders in the 1990s. God, 1970, whatever year. Population's gone down since then. But hey, ignore that little detail. Here it is. Yes, days before the crash and grab crew killed a man in the Mag Mile. One of the men charged with murder posed with JB Pritzker. Days before. Just days. Posed with Pritzker in Inglewood, I'm sure, at that little meeting he made after Marianne Ahern challenged him on how often would you have your friends write the red line? And then he went to Inglewood to show he was down with the people. He met with the peacekeepers out here stopping the violence. Okay. And while he's posing with the guy who said, hey, I just met Governor Pritzker. Let me go rob a fucking store on the Magnificent Mile. And now I'm charged with murder after being out on warrants from 4 freaking states. My kind of town, my kind of state. I don't understand why we don't understand that we're attracting these people. Not from here originally. I am going to come to this place. If I love crime, I'm looking at these 2 idiots on TV and I'm like, this is the place for me. Because they love it here. They don't even see the crime. They're like, we're not going to ask for help. We're not going to send the feds. We're not going to cooperate with anyone. We're going to let you go. You don't have money for bail. Go home. Está bien. It's okay. Just don't do it again. Okay? You pinky swear. If he had to choose between a photo with the guy accused of murder or the guy who wants to eradicate law enforcement, he'd probably go with the murderer. That's from Hey Jackass. .com W_H_Thompson on X. Okay, they are the peacekeepers. Get it right. In quote, peacekeepers. Peace spelled P-I-E-C-E, of course, alluding to a weapon. This is incredible, amazing reporting. I don't know who this is, but Willie Horton. Yeah, Illinois Pritzker again. Someone tagged POTUS, Pam Bondi. This guy is ridiculous. Hands over criminals and a meme there. Someone did the compilation right here. Here it is. A ship of fools. So let me read the whole thing. Days before a crash and grab. So the whole thing. Crew killed a man on Mag Mile. One of the men charged for the murder with Governor Pritzker at a peacekeeper event. There is no emergency. The ship of fools. And so we have here Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton on her post on August 28th saying that there's no emergency here at the Chicago Jazz Festival, of course, because you paid money to enter if you did, or there's a barricaded, limited entry event with plenty of security, right? Paid security, police presence, and you're there as the lieutenant governor. I'm sure you're covered, highly blessed, and highly favored. And then Brandon Johnson on WGN TV News on X. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson issued a statement Friday after President Trump announced that he was shifting his insights from Chicago and instead deploying the National Guard to Memphis for a crime crackdown. Read the full statement there. Crime crackdown because of, so quote from Brandon Johnson here in caption, because of the unified opposition from community leaders and elected officials in Chicago and throughout the state, the Trump administration backed down from its threats and sending the National Guard to Chicago. I guess he took that as a win. And then you got...
Would you ask your friends to ride the L after midnight or after, 9 o'clock at night even to come down to the city from O'Hare?
Look, big cities have crime. There's no doubt about it. But let's just pay attention to what President Trump is doing.
Try filming that same video after midnight in Englewood or West Garfield Park. Over 50 people were shot this past Labor Day weekend, yet our governor takes a stroll in one of the safest parts of Chicago in the morning with his armed state police protection security force and talks about how safe Chicago is. Governor, your presidential ambitions are not as important as having a real conversation about crime and safety in Chicago. We deserve better. The people of Chicago deserve better. And we need you to work with the federal government instead of figuring out how you can get to the White House. We have real crime issues, and talking about trends or what you think statistics mean in your favor does not help the families of murder victims.
Period. That was from Senator Lee on TikTok, that little commentary there. And then the Trump is trying to set a trap. Okay. So, and we went over that. So all great points here. Thank you, Douglas Ritz on X for that compilation of the greatest hits of Pritzker sucks pretty much there. And everyone is having lots of fun. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's like you can't make this stuff up. It's just getting it's like a freaking tragedy here. It's just getting exponentially worse. And then these people are putting their foot in their mouth so yeah, I mean, Trump has really set these people up. But yeah, I'm going to, I think, end it there. There was another little tidbit from your boy. Yeah, and then right now, of course, the whole thing with Charlie Kirk going on, they're out here on another, because they have to move the goalpost. So we can't talk about the crime anymore because now Trump has set his sights somewhere else to send, National Guard to actually cities that are cooperating and want the help, so that there's no uphill battle or legal pitfalls, to battle for him. So he's sending them to like Memphis and other places that are cooperating. And so now to move the focus, as long as the media doesn't hold them accountable, to Jimmy Kimmel and the Charlie Kirk situation. And so now, like this meme here so eloquently points out, from One Bad Dude on X, libs are so confused right now. And there's the screenshot of the two red buttons, where you're choosing here. And one option is people should get shot for their opinions. And then the other one is I shouldn't get fired for my opinions. And of course, these purple-haired libs here are confused as to which would be the option here, because yeah, I mean, how could you be against people getting fired opinions if they can for them? Seems like an easy choice if you're going to be consistent. So yeah, your boy is losing it, of course, and everybody's picked their poison here, and I just don't understand. I love this meme right here. This is my new favorite meme. because Trump and Vance are trolling hard, and of course I still think that there's a lot to be done with Zionism and the Epstein files, and just overall sticking to a lot of the points of what that reelection hinged on. But of course, I'm getting very much most of what I voted for here, so I'm not going to complain too much, because again, if you guys wanted to release the Epstein files, if you guys wanted to hold Israel accountable, you could have done it, but you didn't. So don't get on my president right now. So yeah, Pritzker is trying to defend the whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel getting arrested. Jimmy Kimmel, not arrested, dropped off of ABC for his false statements about the Tyler Robinson, the accused shooter, murderer, assassin of Charlie Kirk, being Republican MAGA affiliated, when all of the evidence, circumstantial evidence, has pointed to that he is a leftist, and Antifa, who was just declared by Trump, or at least the AG, I believe, whoever has to make that declaration, that they are a domestic terrorist organization and will be penalized as such, I believe, if they can, tie any actual crimes to these people and trace the funding. That would be great. It leads right to this idiot here. Look at one more time, full context of his little silly statements here. Sorry.
That has not led to safe communities.
The pressure is getting.
Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities.
The pressure is getting to Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. First, let's see how he handles this question that smacks him around from William J. Kelly.
We've all seen the horrific video of Charlie Kirk being politically assassinated. In Chicago, we saw an ICE agent reportedly run over by an illegal alien. Many people tell me, real Chicagoans tell me, that it's your violent, racist hate speech that is causing people to commit these acts of violence. What do you say to the real Chicagoans who detest what they call the insipid, insidious, boneheaded hate speech that you engage in on a daily basis?
Well, first of all, I don't engage in hate speech. In fact, I think it's important that we note that, as I've said from the very beginning of this tragedy that occurred in our country, that political violence is not only abhorrent, but it undermines the sensibility of our democracy, and there's no place for political violence. In fact, violence as a whole is something that, as a country and as a nation, that we have to continue to come together to ensure that we eliminate all acts of violence. My prayers, of course, are still with Mrs. Kirk and the 2 children of Charlie Kirk. But again, we boldly and in very direct terms openly reject all acts of violence, and particularly political violence.
That kind of composure could only...
So you want to deter all acts of violence, political violence in particular, but all acts of violence with not the sickness of incarceration, law enforcement badges, and holding people criminally accountable. I'm confused on the message here. So you don't like the violence, you don't agree with the violence, but also police and jails are not the answer. So what are we going to do with these people? Do you penalty back Mayor Johnson?
Only lasts so long. Let's move ahead to where he completely lost it.
I get so sick and tired of people believing that the only thing that
all citizens arrests, all justice. Is this what he wants? Because if you get rid of police and you get rid of law enforcement and jails, the only answer I see that you're leaving here is for real, like actual criminals who've committed crimes. Like, because you're not gonna mental health your way out of I killed somebody. They need to serve, like the court, a duty to give a minimum sentence. Okay, so what are we doing? Citizens arrest and street justice, citizens arrest and public hangings. Like, what are you fucking saying, man?
Black and brown and poor people get in this city are badges. People want jobs. It's why we've been.
Is law enforcement not a job, sir? Is it not a job?
Increase the ability for young people to have jobs in this city. I get so sick and tired of people in this country and in this city that believes that the only thing that you can offer Black people and poor people is jails, incarceration, and police officers. Dr. King said this right here in Chicago, the National Conference on New Politics. What did he say? He said militarism is a sickness.
I'm gonna need Dr. King's ghost to like really make itself known. Because ain't no way you don't hear this man invoking your name in vain, Martin. Please.
I am trying to eradicate the sickness from this city and from this country. Jails and incarceration and law enforcement is a sickness that has not led to safe communities. I'm going to work hard every single day to protect the people who are caught up in violence in this city.
When you say caught up, protect the people who are caught up in violence, it really keeps sounding like you mean the criminals, because caught up does not sound like you're saying the victims. Caught up is more of the language you would use for people who accidentally stumbled into this. Not victims of, because you would have just said victims of, the people who are burdened or victimized or harmed by violence. That would be the victim language. This sounds like you are siding with the criminals and they look like you. Is crazy work.
Guess why? You want to know why? Because the vast majority of them look like me. This president has never asked a very simple question to me. He doesn't talk to Black mayors about what it's like to live in communities that have been disinvested in. So no, we're not going to succumb to the sickness and the evil that Dr. King warned us about a generation ago. It's a sickness and we're going to eradicate it.
Earlier, Johnson was asked about Irina Zarutska, the woman killed on the train in Charlotte.
We've all seen the horrific video of Irina Zarutska being stabbed in the neck on public transportation. In Chicago, we have countless examples of women being punched in the face, choked out, robbed, abused, murdered by violent repeat offenders. And your only legislation or in regards to public safety on public transportation is don't smoke cigarettes. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the women who have been abused by violent repeat
William Kelly is
offenders
a
in the
beast.
city of Chicago?
Well, first of all, my community safety plan is far more substantive than just asking people not to smoke. Our investments in community safety have been unprecedented, quite frankly, and public safety and community safety will always remain my top priority. There are way too many individuals, of course, that have been victimized by violence, and it again is my top priority to continue to make sure that we're investing in our detectives division as our detectives bureau coordinates and collaborates with our counterintelligence and all of our stakeholders come together to drive violence down the city of Chicago. Many of these acts, as you have described, are quite horrific. Any act of violence is one act too many. And I'm going to work hard every day to ensure that we build the safest, most affordable big city in America.
Oh my gosh. Prayers to the family of Charlie Kirk as well as Irina Zarutska, because that is crazy, man. Like, and I mean, like, it's so bad. Like that, I mean, the fact that that stuff happened back to back like that, and well, at least the the publications, the video going viral right before the Charlie Kirk assassination is just traumatic as hell. And overall, I think that our mayor is in need of all the mental health that he is offering criminals. I am highly concerned for just whoever is depending on this man to to turn things around. He's clearly not okay. His family as well, because they're primary caretaker here, and this is what you guys are dealing with. And then us as a city as a whole, of course, we're all in danger. I think that the mayor is truly, he's truly anti-police. Like, I mean, you got this police detail, but you keep siding with the criminals. Pritzker posing with murderers, not surprising. So yeah, we're on our own, Chicago. Please don't vote like this again. We cannot afford it. Like, we need tough on police. We need, like, people keep joking, like, bring back Daily One and like John Burge days, because like we gotta clean this up because it's gotten so bad. And I mean, it's horrible because, like, it was bad, but at least the criminals knew to, like, be careful criminals. Like, you wouldn't pose with the governor in a photo and then go murder somebody, go commit a felony, and have a subsequent murder charge with 4 fucking warrants from out of state days later. Like, the gall. But why not? Why not be audacious in Chicago, Illinois in 2025? Because crime is down, investments are up, and law enforcement and jails are, and we are people who happen to all be the criminals. Victims, you're on your own. All right. Well, that's all I got for y'all. We will keep you guys posted here on what's going on in Chicago, because I don't have a choice here. And this is Nicole Patrice. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and yeah, I hope Trump is still working very much on doing something about what's happening with this mayor and governor here. I know that there's some articles of impeachment that were filed against JB Pritzker at the state level for his involvement with hate speech, and of course, in light of Charlie Kirk's death, you can really point to him. And then now with Trump, declaring Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. Who knows? You know, Pritzker does have a lot of money. Of course, you got Soros. You know, you got Kim Fox, who was also funded by Soros, allegedly. You got, you know, there's a lot of moving parts here, but if they can bring down like some MS-13, some Trinidad Agua in Chicago and point them back to some of these people, you know, follow the money, we might be working with something here. So let's just hope and pray that something comes up here. You know, with the whole Fannie Willis being of the Trump RICO case, election interference case, that's also been a win. So, like, you know, Trump has been racking up the W's this week, with the exception of Charlie Kirk and everything that's going on with that. But I think that you know, if we all kind of stay focused on the threats here, and these people are clearly, and you know, they're all like rallying around Jimmy Kimmel, like his network didn't fire him, is wild to me. Like, you know, they're really trying to make it like Trump made the call and was like, yeah, get rid of that guy. Like, no, he lied, and he's inciting like violence with the lie against people who have already been victimized. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Oh well, these people aren't that smart. If you still were watching Jimmy Kimmel, you pretty much don't have a good sense of humor, and you're also a little mentally, you know, intellectually compromised. So thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe. Comment below. Let me know what's going on in your city. If you're waiting on Trump to come through and clean things up over there, or what your thoughts on how we can get rid of our mayor before election time, or anyone who who could be like him, because we don't need this again. We need help. Okay. We need help. He says no one's asking him for the federal. Yes, we are. Please, somebody come get rid of this man and help us, because we are in trouble. All right, y'all. Take care.